Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com, and I was, I hate thinking about this. You've heard me talk about trust, and my experience has been when I was in Central America, in Guatemala. All of the land is owned by a trust. And so, they give there's a little bit. All of it is not quite right, but if you're looking for acreage, it'll be owned by a trust, and a trust is kind of like a corporation in which if it belongs to somebody and they die, well, then now it's open again. In other words, now they might leave it to their kids or leave it to somebody, but when they die, well, then eventually either they die and it gets off somewhere, or if it's not in a corporation, you might lose it in a gambling debt or something like that. In other words, once it gets in a trust, it's locked up. You can't lose it in a gambling debt. And all, or not all of it, but quite a bit of the land in Guatemala is owned by a trust. Even corporations, and what I've learned. This is the scary part. What I've learned, there's all kinds of trusts, and some are public trusts and some are private trusts. And in other words, you can't be sued if you put it in a trust. Somebody can sue you, but they can't touch it. And it's not like I say, I'm aware of it because of the real estate. Because Guatemala is much smaller and all the real estate is tied up. But what I've learned here in the United States, this private trust is, it's when you put it in a private trust, it's untouchable. And then, hey, what are you looking for? No. Get out of there. You get it in a private trust, and somebody is trying to find out something about it. They can't. It's between you and the judge, and it's much more complicated than all this. But what I've learned is this is how all the politicians and these really rich people, because they don't pay no taxes, and the reason they don't pay any taxes is they don't have any money. That's because that trust has got the money. And whether it's business that's in the trust or land that's in the trust, it doesn't make any difference. And so they're not paying taxes because the trust is involved in the thing. That's the main reason that is a problem, is because we have lawyers making laws. And when lawyers make laws, that's not a good thing. So I think our great nation, for one thing, lawyers aren't even supposed to be in office. But still, they found loopholes. You can tell that in the election. They make rules on elections. So if they're gonna make, oh, excuse me, I've had this cough for a few days now, and but anyway, since these lawyers got everything all tied up, and they've used our Constitution and our laws to do all this, then they've been able to control votes. And so, everybody says, oh, well, if you don't like them, vote them out. Well, we realize those days are over. So we can't vote them out. And they don't listen to us, we the people, because you don't see a whole lot of we the people that are saying, good, let's mandate masks and vaccines and all this kind of stuff. They're not saying that. So in other words, they're just making things up, and we have to go along with it. And but do we? A lot of this stuff, we don't even have to go along with it. It's mandated, it's not a law, but we do go along with this stuff. And now they're learned, well, we can bypass the lawmakers and make things happen, either in elections or trust. Ways to take what they have and get it out of the reach of others. Even I found it, even the IRS can't even get involved in that stuff. So it's really bad. I'm not sure how this can be straightened out, because all this only works with moral people. And the ones that are in office, the ones that are making laws and this type of stuff, they're not moral people. And I really can't say they're immoral, because I don't know exactly what they're doing, but they've come up with enough stuff to cover it up that we can't find out what they're doing. That's why they're able to do all the weird stuff that they've been doing. And so it's something that I'm scared. It'd be nice if I could blame it on somebody, but I don't think it's anybody we can blame it on. Look at our education system. Yeah, we can blame teachers, administrations, schooling system, even stuff like that, we can. But the reality is, who allowed this stuff to happen in the first place? And they keep letting it happen and getting worse and worse all the time. And like I say, you might think, well, Mike doesn't know what he's talking about. And you're right. A lot of it I don't know. Because why? We're back to the lawyers make all this stuff. They don't have just this is the rules and why, because they complicate it a lot for their protection and the protection of the politicians and other people that aren't moral. So this is something I don't know how we as a nation can fix this, because it's to our core. We're getting, the moral people aren't running things. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.